Every year, the library seeks to unite the city with one book. And One Book, One Philadelphia not only encourages us all to read the same book, but also gets us all talking about the city, about life as Philadelphians. So today, I'm speaking with Amir Richardson of the Free Library of Philadelphia about this annual series. And we're revealing this year's book. It's Thursday, February 26th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly is reading this year. Amir, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Today, you all are announcing this year's selection for One Book, One Philadelphia. Drum roll, please. Amir, what is the book?
The book for 2026 is Our Missing Hearts by Celeste Ng. And this wasn't a choice that we came to lightly. A whole host of people sat down, a whole think tank. We called them the selection committee. This is librarians, community organizers, different orgs and people that you might be familiar with, such as Philadelphia 250, Visit Philadelphia. All these people poured in, had a lot of intense dialogues and discussions, and this is where we landed with Celeste Ng's Our Missing Hearts.
Amir, this sounds exciting. Who is the author? Tell us a little bit about her.
So Celeste Ng is definitely, I would say, someone who's well respected in the world of literature and novels. I'll be honest, during that book selection process, I wasn't as familiar, but I knew that the weight of her work really spoke volumes. I could tell by the way the librarians were responding. I could tell by the way particular stakeholders were responding. So this is a person who's New York Times bestseller. Everything I Never Told You was a big piece of work for her, kick down doors and really let people know that this is a really developed and skilled writer. And so this is someone that we're really excited to have. I would say they are a bit of a celebrity in the world of literature. So we're really excited to have Celeste Ng here at the library.
What kind of conversations do you all have when selecting the one book for Philadelphia?
It's kind of tough. I'm not going to lie. But, at the core of it is making sure that Philadelphia has a fully expressed experience within the text. And it doesn't need to be about Philadelphia directly or exactly, but do any of these experiences mirror what you may have experienced on your block or within your community? Okay. And we obviously had to take into account the 250th and all the discussions that are happening around the idea of this country, what this country is, been in the past, what the country is in the future, what's the country look like today. And so this book kind of sits in the intersection of all those different things. And we really do hope that people take the time to dig into it, connect to a particular character, and then come back and enjoy some of the programs that we have lined up.
Okay, so tell me about those programs. What's in store for Philly this year?
So it ranges from book discussions, just, some questions, just kind of report back and overall civic dialogue. Mm-hmm. But it also is a panel discussion that we have lined up around art, censorship, resistance, protest, identity. And we also have a screener. We'll be doing a film screening in conjunction with the Philadelphia Asian American Film Festival. And it will take place at the Central Library branch. And we also have some programs around zines and crafting. And these will take place at the neighborhood satellite branches around the city. And so it's really this all encompassing engagement that we hope to have with different community orgs. There's a watershed in the Northeast that will be doing a story trail where you can walk a trail and have different parts of the book along the trail. And so we really hope to really activate citywide across this one book title.
This is amazing. I mean, that's what I love about the library. It's not just books, checking out books, but it's this whole immersive experience. And like you just mentioned, all the things that you can do. So Amir, tell me, what's the goal here? Are you supposed to see people on a SEPTA bus reading the book, or at your neighborhood coffee shop reading the book, or at your neighborhood branch? What's the idea? You want people to read or maybe listen to the book in an audio form?
Absolutely. So it's definitely accessible. The Libby app is something that I encourage people to download. You can get the Libby app. It is free. You can put your library card information in that app, and then you can just start checking out magazines, checking out books, but audiobooks are a part of that as well. So the text, our Missing Hearts, is definitely accessible via these apps, specifically Libby. And the goal, there's kind of like the surface level goals of we want people to visit their local libraries, of course, and always. We want to promote literacy, of course, always. But getting a little bit more granular, for me, I think one book serves as this opportunity to really help craft the civic profile of what it means to be from Philadelphia. There's a lot of ways in which the city is growing and evolving, and I feel like the civic profile grows and evolves. Like, not to veer off into too many different topics, but being from Philadelphia now means you should have an understanding or familiarity with Narcan, because that is just something that is a part of the Philadelphia experience now. Being from Philadelphia also means you have to have, like, an understanding of where the best, restaurants are, and Michelin stars are now a part of that civic experience. I think one book kind of serves as this opportunity to help craft that profile. So, water ice, cheesesteaks, and civic dialogue, or one book, you know what I mean? So I really hope that One Book, One Philadelphia can really become a part of that cultural tapestry of what it means to be from Philadelphia.
I love that. I mean, that's why you're on the show today, because we have those kind of conversations too.
Yeah.
And it's not just our Missing Hearts that is a part of the One Book Philadelphia. There are also two other books for our younger Philadelphia readers. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so One Book, One Philadelphia, despite the name, actually encompasses three books for each kind of like reading level or grade level or just audience and demographic. So we have the adult title, which is Our Missing Hearts. The YA title is somewhere between Bitter and Sweet. And the picture book title for children is How to Build a Family Tree. And so there's going to be activations around those book titles as well. We're going to be doing some work with Read by Fourth, which is also a part of the Free Library of Philadelphia Foundation's kind of like program portfolio, which ensures that there are environments that really help young readers read at grade level by the fourth grade, because there's all kinds of quality of life things that are at stake when people aren't at grade level by the fourth grade. So there's a ton of effort around making sure that people have access to these books and many other different reading environments.
So last year's book was The Upcycled Self by Tariq Trotter, who we all know as AKA Black Thought of the Roots. But Tariq really got into his journey and becoming a musician. So I'm curious, you talked about the activations that are going to connect Philadelphians with this book, Our Missing Hearts. But does this year's book have any direct or maybe indirect Philly connections?
I would say, first off, I want to kind of like leave it to the reader to have those interpretations. But I would say yes, in terms of the civic experience of some of these characters within the text. It's not you will not find a city block in this story. It is a novel, it is fiction, but it's tied to real world experiences that we're all having. And so to me, I think those experiences, I hope that Philadelphians can see their experiences within those that story arc, and see some of their communities reflected in that story arc as well. So in an indirect way, yes, but not plainly. Broad Street is not in the book, but much of those different kind of like touch points of what it means to be from Philadelphia, I think are.
We've got more about One Book, One Philadelphia after the break. Amir, do you think reading can bring the city together, can unite the city? How can books help to sort of stitch us all together from a civic perspective, like you were mentioning earlier?
Yeah, I think it already is happening. I've come to learn, because I've been doing community work in different various forums over the years. We're always concerned, like, is Philadelphia doing this and is Philadelphia doing that? And in many ways, whether it be big or small, it's already taking place. There's already book trade groups and book clubs and meetups, and all kinds of things happening around text and literature and storytelling. I'm very proud to see some of that activity without me even having done anything. I think this is going to add on top of some of that already activation, that animated energy around books and storytelling. Shouts out to all the bookstores, the comic book stores,
Yes.
and the book clubs around the city. So I do think that these books and these stories can spark conversations. And I think some of the conversations happening in 2026 are critical. Personally, I actually wasn't I wasn't the kid that always asked why. You'll have that kid like, well, why? That wasn't me. And I think over the years, I've actually started to grow into that kid and to ask those questions. And I think this is a pivotal year to ask all the questions. And I think this text, Our Missing Hearts, really offers an opportunity to ask some incredible questions. And so my hope is that the conversations that are already taking place in Philadelphia, because people are talking, my hope is that this book really kind of sparks more questions.
Well, Amir, why do you think it's important that these conversations are happening at the library?
Yeah, I mean, the library in general is a civic pillar. It's a pillar of kind of like what it means to be a citizen. And overall, the library just helps with the quality of life. Like, you go there with any questions, like, where do I find this restaurant? Or like all the questions that you generally put in Google. If you go to a library, just ask a librarian. They'll be able to help you. If you visit libraries, your quality of life will improve. And I think that's been the case for hundreds of years. Information sharing, tapping into knowledge, people coming together just to support other people. You can learn new skills. I can't say enough about the library. There's like way too many resources to even list. I just found out there's like a free patent and trademark class over there. And I'm somebody that does,
if I have an idea for an invention, I can go to the library.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of like relevant and germane things taking place at the library. I think people just need to take the time to go tap in. You'll definitely be happy you did. Yeah.
I know that you can get free headshots at the library, and I have yet to do it, but I'm coming.
Yeah, I think it's like every second Tuesday, but you can go online and find out the exact dates. But yeah, you can get free headshots. There's classes. There's meetups. There's all kinds of things happening. Again, at the neighborhood branch level, but most absolutely at the central branch. Like, the central branch is buzzing with things happening. I think there's like a vinyl listening party that they have there. You can rent out music equipment. We have our author events at the auditorium pretty regularly, almost weekly at this point. We had Kadir Nelson, and he's the guy who
did the illustrator.
He did the Drake album, Nothing Was the Same. And so he came there with his illustrations and spoke with a lot of teens. It was incredible. I can't say enough about the library.
Amir, any idea of how many Philadelphians actually participate in One Book, One Philadelphia every year, even the youngest readers?
I would say somewhere close to thousands. I mean, we have like 4 marquee events here at the Central Library branch.
Okay.
Most of those reach some level of like hitting capacity, which is around like 400. Then you have the satellite branches, and we do a lot of engaging even away from the libraries, and we just do alternate venues. So it might be like a bookshop, or it might be, I don't know, a barber shop. A one book discussion at a barbershop would be crazy. But
that would be
cool. I would say it kind of inches closest to, like, I would say 1,000 people are directly engaged in the actual events. And we're finding out more and more about those kind of like other marginal ways in which people make contact with One Book, whether that be, advertisements or just reading on their own, and book clubs around the city as well. So it's definitely a healthy number, I would say.
So starting today, February 26th, Philadelphians can go to their library and get their hands on the One Book, One Philadelphia.
Yeah, go to your local library branch. Request the book. We have additional copies in each branch. You might have to put it on hold, but You'll have it, I think it's like a 3-week period in which you can like hold books or more because you can kind of keep taking them out. But this essentially kicks off the reading period. So definitely go out to the local library branches, go grab Our Missing Hearts by Celeste Ng. We'll be doing drop-offs, of course, to different community groups and things like that. So if you wanted to find out and stay up to date on all the things, just go to freelibraryfoundation.org. That's where I'll be monitoring all the talkback and the feedback and the comments. I say that to say, if you have a book selection or a book idea, like just talk to us. We're definitely available and listening. We're absolutely listening.
Amir Richardson, thank you so much for stopping by on CityCast Philly today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Listeners, if you're going to read Our Missing Hearts, let us know. I'm going to start reading it tonight, and we're going to do sort of a virtual book club. You can reach out to us at philly@citycast.fm or send me a text at 215-259-8170. That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you like this episode about one book, one Philadelphia, share this with a friend. And sign up for our morning newsletter to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. There's a link in the show notes. And you can support our work by becoming a CityCast Philly neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Friday News Roundup. Bye.